You're like, do you remember like around that age, as you're starting to get into a poetry vibe, like what makes you start wanting to write it? Like there has to be some kind of like catalyst moment where it's like, nah, I can do this.
Right. So I basically come from a family of um like musicians, not just like vocals, but instrument wise as well. Like I was always around that. Also I used to go to church a lot when I was younger, and like I was always around the band, stuff like that. And like I would sing along with the instruments. Like when the guys would be playing, I would try and sing things like, songs I already knew. But the day or the time I really decided like, yo, like it's time to like go in the stew. Like I messaged my big cousin, who was doing it for a while, Millie Mills, and I told him like, yo,
Oh, say
like
word.
yeah, man, like that's my big cousin. You know what I mean? Like he just like took me to the stew one night, and like I started doing like not covers, but I started doing like remixes over beats, like old Gucci Mane beats, like all that, bro. ASAP or early ASAP beats, all that stuff. Like I just started rapping
So
over the
what do you
beats.
remember like when this was? Like so like
I think my first time in the studio was I was not yet graduated, so it was probably like I was probably like 11 or 12 maybe.
so your first time
Actually,
going to a
actually, no,
studio is 11 or 12.
yo, the first time I ever went to a studio wasn't even with my cousin. Actually, it was with one of my mom's friends who has a stu in the crib, and I was like, yeah, I want to say I was like 11, and like the man made like the beat up on spot. I was with my older cousin, and she sings, and yeah, bro, that was the first time like I ever really went in there.
11.
Yeah, bro, like yeah, I was on it for real. I
Yo,
was
like
on it, bro.
it's always astounding to me when I hear stories like that. Like however anyone wants to put it, it could have been the trashiest trash you ever wrote at 11. It doesn't matter. The fact is, at 11 years old, you actually clock an experience in that game. That's like
Yeah, man.
wild to me when you think about it. Like you have all that freedom to like fuck up and shit, but still you're learning it without like all the complications of trying to do it as an adult when you're all rigid and shit.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Nah, yeah, I went in there, bro, and just like straight up, like the man just made the instrumental on spot, and I just like wrote while he was doing it. I wrote something, and like yeah, me and my older cousin Alicia, we just went in there and we ripped it, man. I still have this shit, honestly. I still probably have it somewhere on a CD. But yeah, man, I was mad young, bro. Yeah.
Yo, I'm not impressed by that. Yo, what was some of your first favorite songs though from that era? So around that point, at a certain point, music has to go from this some shit my mom's making me listen to, yo, I fucks with this. Do you remember the
Yo,
first I fucks with this moment for you?
yeah. Zapp and Roger was huge for me back. Like I used to listen to that. Like Zapp and Roger was my favorite. I listened to a lot of Daft Punk too, because I used to like while I was doing the music, I was also in dance school, and we like it was called Baseline Studio. So I would be like dancing to all these tracks too, along with listening to them at home. Like I rock with a lot of Daft Punk. Um, bro, like there's so many to name, bro. Like I was rocking with so much stuff alone. Like I would have my little Walkman just bumping all these things, bro.
So you're in dance class and you're getting experience recording. That's
Yeah,
some
man. Like,
serious shit. Are you also like
bro, I'm
performing? Are you like spitting freestyles on the block too?
nah, not really, man. I was more of a shy. I was really more of a shy kid growing up. Like when I was younger, bro. Like if I was to say a word, it was like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like it was like, damn, like he spoke, you know. Like unless I was with my family, like with my friends, I would never really rap like that out loud. I would call my cousin Mills on the phone, rap to him. But other than that, I wasn't rapping, and I wasn't really out there like that.
So if Millie Mills is your cousin, are you like being put on to Montreal music at that point as well?
Yeah, I grew up around it. I grew up around a lot of guys, man, like Magnum, I Blast, Jericho, Boy Blue, all these cats. Like these guys were around me because whenever I would go out with my cousin, Like I go check them or just be around them. If I was going to like one of his video shoots, like all these guys would be there. So I was like well educated on the Montreal scene back then too, on like like the who's what I mean, like who's who and the OGs of the game. You know what I'm saying?
So you're going to like music video shoots that would later go on to be like shit that people today are calling the legendary like shit,
Yeah,
right? Like, and you
yeah,
were just
bro.
like there.
I
You
was just
gotta tell us
there.
a bit about this times, man, because like this shit is really hard to Google anything about that times.
Yeah, bro. Like, okay, the one I remember the most, I think I was maybe like 13, 14 years old, and my cousin Mills was shooting this music video in for Kill, and bro, like that's when I got to meet like not every artist from Montreal, but a lot of the anglophone like rappers from everywhere, bro. Like, I mean, like I was just like being introduced to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and it was just like damn, I mean, like now, like even like to this day, like people's like, bro, like I can't believe you were in that video and you were like a whole kid, bro. Like how the fuck did what I mean? But nah, bro, it's crazy. Like it's crazy to see it now because it's like considered throwback. You feel me? But I was there, to experience
I
everything.
mean, it's like throwback in like a one age group's perspective. It's like
Yeah,
the golden era in a whole other perspective. Like I swear I have people on here who will glorify that, and I'm not saying it's not due. It's probably due all its justice. I just didn't really witness it. I wasn't
yeah,
cognizant of anything until 2012. So like with that, it's like the way people describe that era when these guys were hitters. It was like shit. Montreal's two steps away from being where everyone wants Montreal to be, and those guys were the guys
yeah,
running it.
yeah, bro. But I mean, I feel like every year they say that, what I mean? But we just got to make this shit happen somehow. Like even though like bro, that music was crazy that came out of that era. That music was crazy. Like when you go back, you listen to it now, you're like, fuck, bro. Like this shit is crazy. Like they literally paved the way, bro. Like for a lot of open doors. And like man, it's like I still feel like even like present day, like we are right there, but it's just I don't know, man. Like the
That's a
answers
big
are still
conversation.
unknown.
I mean,
Yeah,
everybody knows the answer is cooperation. I don't know that people know how to go about that in the scale of things that it really needs to be. Like there's a scale
yeah,
of cooperation that I'm not sure people are fully aware of, like how many people are here. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's like I think we all need to know the other like 2,000 artists in our very English Montreal area scene, and without that knowledge, nobody. It's like the one thing. Just like before we continue on, like how can people really know who the best five is if at most any of us can list 500, 1,000 people, and then knowing that that
yeah.
might be like half of all the people? Like we don't know.
Facts.
We have no way of knowing. Solve
Nah,
that
for sure,
problem.
bro.
Boom. We'll find cohesion in the city. Everyone will find 15 guys they fucking love and watch how everybody's not friends in different ways than it's
Yeah.
been before. That's my big theory. See how it goes.
Nah, you right. You definitely right.
Because yo, like, look at y'all. Look at your pocket. Just this pocket of Greenfield Park rap. Like, I didn't know what the fuck that existed before. I never thought about the South Shore. I talked to Duscod. Duscod's told me to ask people, yo, CY can name top five. Shout out CY for that. Um, but like people really have trouble naming like a top five Montreal rapper that they like, and that's a wild
Yeah.
thing to think about in a world
Yeah,
where
for
we're all
sure.
trying to be somebody's top five. Nah, but
Yeah,
with
man.
so that would be like just on that. But still, the fact that you was around back then and saw these players is magnificent, man. Just to like, that's cool. Like it's just cool. Like there's no better way to
Bro,
put it.
like I like that's like honestly seeing those guys, bro, it's like really what got me to keep going, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it was crazy not just to see like cuz obviously back then it was a little bit more I guess to say like a little bit more real in terms of like what dudes were talking about, what they were doing, how they were moving, so on and so forth. But like in terms of the artistry, in terms of the music, like that was just it for me because for me it was always about the art. You know what I mean? Like it was about the sound and like oh like okay, this guy sounds like this and that's fire. Like this is his style. And then you got this guy who's a different style. Like that's the kind of shit that just honestly just kept me going, bro. Like it was motivating and like whenever I would come home from hanging out with my cousin, which was practically every day, like I would write all the time, bro. Like I got books, bro. Yeah.